Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We've got a lot to talk about. Cavs, Guardians, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, which was Game 7 on Monday, which the Florida Panthers won. We'll talk about the NBA draft and who the Cavs took. Uh, we got all that. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. And it's a Major League Baseball trivia question. After standing for nearly 40 years, who broke Roger Maris's single-season home run record of 61? I'll have the answer later on the podcast. Well, now we're going to talk about the Cavs first. The Cavs hired Golden State Warriors assistant, or former Golden State Warriors assistant, Kenny Atkinson as their next franchise head coach. Sources told ESPN on Monday. The sides have started work on a contract, and a deal is expected to be reached soon, sources said. And Colby Altman announced today it's official that they have hired Kenny Atkinson as their new head coach. The Cavaliers process had been pared down to Atkinson and New Orleans Pelicans associate head coach James Borrego, who was hired as the Detroit Pistons head coach. Sources said Borrego, who worked the past season with the new Detroit Pistons president Trajan Langdon in New Orleans, is now expected to become a prominent candidate in the Pistons coaching search. Sources told ESPN, and he was hired as the Lakers head coach today. He was this week. He was hired as Atkinson told. Atkinson, the top assistant with the Warriors, takes over a Cavaliers roster that advanced to the Eastern Conference semifinals and won 99 regular season games over the past two seasons. He joins an organization that includes two key players who blossomed during his tenure as the Brooklyn Nets head coach, Jared Allen and Karis LeVert. Cavaliers president of basketball operations, Colby Altman, and general manager Mike Gansey are especially eager for Atkinson's reputable player development program to impact young center Evan Mobley, sources said. Cleveland's off-season priorities turned fully to securing All-Star guard Donovan Mitchell on a contract extension. He has 1 year left before he can exercise an early termination option. And Atkinson, 57, was 118 and 190 in three plus years with the Nets, inheriting a full rebuild and showing improvement each season until he resigned after an injury plagued the 2019-2020 season. He spent the 2020-21 season with the LA Clippers as an assistant before joining Steve Kerr's staff as the top assistant in 2021. 2 years ago, Atkinson briefly accepted the Charlotte Hornets head coaching job before changing his mind and remaining with the Warriors. Atkinson is currently in Paris, where he'll serve as an assistant coach for the French national team during the Olympics. Atkinson spent 9 seasons as an NBA assistant, 4 with the New York Knicks, 3 years with the Atlanta Hawks, before returning to the assistant coaching ranks with the Clippers and the Warriors. So I think he's going to be a great addition to this team, and I think the Cavs like him, and I think all the Cavs fans like him, and I'll call the Altman, go over to Mike Gansey like him, and so I think it's going to be a really great addition. I think he's very offensive-minded, and I think he's going to really that program's going to help Evan Mobley. I really think it will help him really it'll help him big time. Uh, Moving on to the Guardians right now. After a 2-1 loss to the Royals in the opening of a 4-game series, they're back in action tonight against the Orioles at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. And right now, it is 2-1 in the top of the third. And the Guardians are coming to bat. And on the hill for him tonight, Triston McKenzie is on the hill for him tonight. He's right now. He's gone 2 innings, had 2 hits, given up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, had 1 beat at bat, and struck out 2. And the Guardians are coming to bat in the top half of this inning, and so we'll see if they can hold on and get the win. They're 51-28, still with the best record, still in first place in the AL Central. But I think the Phillies are on the best record in baseball right now. But we'll see if the Guardians can hold on and get the win tonight. Uh, uh, and uh, we're going to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals in just a moment. But right now, it is time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. This is the Major League Baseball trivia question, as I mentioned. After standing for nearly 40 years, who broke Roger Maris' single-season home run record of 61? And if you said Mark McGwire, you are correct. In September 1998, Mark McGwire broke Maris' record by hitting his 62nd home run of the season. I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Moving on to now the Stanley Cup Finals and Game 7 and the entire season is in the books. The Florida Panthers captured their first Stanley Cup in franchise history with a 2-1 win in Game 7, victory over the Edmonton Oilers on Monday night, and a thrilling conclusion to a classic playoff series. Winger, Sam Reinhart's second period goal proved to be the winner as goalie Sergei Bobrovsky made 23 saves to close out the series and help his team avoid postseason infamy. The Panthers' win averted one of the most epic collapses in sports history. Florida had built a 3-0 series lead, but the Oilers roared back with 3 straight wins. Just the third time in NHL history that a team forced a Game 7 after losing the first 3 games of a Stanley Cup final. But the legacy of the 1942 Toronto Maple Leafs remains intact. They're still the only team to rally from a 3-0 deficit in the final to win the cup after the Oilers came up short. Instead, Florida became just the third team in the past 40 years to win the Stanley Cup after losing the final previous postseason as the Panthers fell in live games in 5 games, to the Vegas Golden Knights in 2023. Florida captain Alexander Barkov was awarded the cup by NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman, and after he after his skate with it, Barkview handed it off to Bob Borowski. Uh, he deserves it. He's been there for a long time, and he's been our best player for a long time. Barkvo said uh, of Bravowski, he played incredible. I've been chasing that for a long time. Maurice said after handing off the Stanley Cup to his coaching staff, it's got nothing to do with the coach. This group has been special since day one. Florida coach Paul McGuire, who joined the franchise 2 seasons ago after stepping down as head coach of the Winnipeg Jets, uh, and had been to the final time in 2 years, won for the first time in a lengthy career. And the Oilers are making their first uh, were making their first Stanley Cup final appearance since 2006, but it was not. They were not able to get the job done. It was not the case. This was the furthest Edmonton superstars, Connor McDavid and Leon uh, Diba and Leon Draisaitl had carried their team in the postseason. Uh, uh, Neither player had a point in Game Seven, with McDavid going scoreless in the last two uh, games off the series. He finished as the playoffs' leading scorer with 42 points. Despite the loss, McDavid was awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy as the postseason's most valuable player. The energy in the building for Game 7, could be felt well before puck drop. A significant number of Oilers fans purchased tickets for the game, cheering Edmonton players during warm-ups and loudly singing "Oh Canada" over guest anthem singer Alanis Morissette. Panthers fans belted their own lively rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem, in response. The Panthers would open the scoring moments after an early power play ended following a high sticking uh, uh, call on Edmonton's Warren Fogs Fogle, Florida winger Evan Rodriguez flung the puck toward the Edmonton net, where he found center, uh, found Carter but Ver Verhella alone in front, tipping it home for his 11th goal of the playoffs at 4:27 to send the home crowd into a frenzy. And about to join me right now is my hello, Matt Blumberg. About to join me on my podcast, as I was saying, is my one of my best friends, Matt Blumberg. My friend who lives in Portland, Oregon. And right now, Matt, I am talking about the fact that the Florida Panthers are the 2024 NHL Stanley Cup Finals champions for the first time in franchise history. Boy, what an epic series this was, and an epic Game 7 on Monday. Oh, my friend. And so, what were your thoughts? What are your thoughts about this, Matt?
Well, you could have made, don't forget, none. Having checked the one, fell short.
Yes, it did. But it was just an epic series, and I got to tip my hat to the both teams. Edmonton, I think they will be back, but my congratulations to the Florida Panthers. And they say it's the hardest trophy to win in sports, and you can't imagine how hard it is until you do it. And Rodriguez said, getting to Game 7, it took pressure off us, and we did it the hard way, but it was a perfect outcome, and uh, it really was. And this was just one of those series, Matt, where it went Florida's way, even though Edmonton had rip roared back after going down 3-0 because Florida had built that 3-0 lead, but then Florida was able to avert that collapse. You got to give them credit for that. Yes, and I give credit to both teams, but I think Edmonton will be back. But congratulations, Panthers. Moving on right now, Matt, we're going to talk about the NBA draft on Wednesday as the Cavs selected with the 20th pick in the first round forward Jalen Tyson from the University of California. He is 6'6", 218 pounds, and he really put up a lot of big numbers with California University. Matt, do you agree that this was a good choice for the Cavs? Because I feel they needed to take a forward with this pick.
Well, that's what happens. Some I do and some I don't. This kid was decent. I don't know much about this kid. I don't really know much about him.
Well, he is from California, the University of California.
It might be from the University of California, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, and I just wanted to throw out to all of my subscribers and to you, you might have heard this, that Ronnie James went to the LA Lakers. He'll be playing alongside his dad, King James, LeBron James. He'll be playing with LeBron.
Maybe for a season or so, but not very long.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe a season. That's about it. Chance to start going down because his career is starting to wind down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is very true.
He's 39 size 40, something like that. So basically, his career is
Yeah,
starting to wind
yeah.
down. So, there's problems also. Lakers are talking about that guy wants out.
Oh, I know he does. I know. I know.
Anthony Davis, they're talking about he wants out.
Yeah, I have heard that he does want out. You're very much correct on that. And
Well,
and Bronny James came in the 55th pick. He was taken by the LA Lakers, and he is 6'2", 210 pounds. And I think LeBron James is very happy that he is playing for the Lakers. And Matt, I want to get your thoughts on something. What do you think about the Cavs hiring and making it official? Kenny Atkinson is their new franchise head coach. What are your thoughts on that?
well, I'll tell you. I think they did something. They did something. They did a smart thing, and getting somebody who has coaching experience.
Yes, they did, and
Basically, I think it was the right fit for that coaching experience.
I think it was too. And he has got a player program that is really going to help our young center star, Evan Mobley. And I think that's going to help him big time. And I think he's going to be good for this franchise because we got this filled before the draft happened. And they cannot talk to Donovan Mitchell until July 1st. And who knows? There is a chance they could trade Darius Garland. And you never know on that. I mean, and
But the thing is, that was a smart move for them to pick up somebody as coaching experience.
yes, that was very smart. I agree with that.
Workflow basketball doesn't make a difference.
Oh yeah,
It's totally different. Really chance that you can do well for you. If you do well, they'll be there. If you do not, they'll fire. So
yeah. And I agree with that. And I really agree with that. And this was one of those NBA drafts where anybody could have been taken off the board. And the Cavs did well. And I do agree with all this. So, and I really think they really did well. The NBA draft, everybody enjoyed that. And I like who we picked, Jalen Tyson, forward from the University of California. So, and I'll keep you posted on the Donovan Mitchell story and the Darius Garland. I will keep you posted. And I'll give you one last check before I sign off here for this podcast. Let me go back in. I want to check in on the Guardians' score as they were up to bat in the top of the third when they were down 2-1. I will check it right now. Just before I sign off, let me go in there and I will check it in there. Oh, the Royals are back up batting. It's the bottom of the third. And the Guardians are down 4-1. Oh, the Guardians are in a little bit of a hole. They're going to have to rally and try to climb out if they want to get the win tonight. So
I know it's gonna happen that way because I can't say for sure because I mean because I mean I like says when I can, but if we don't, we don't. So
yeah.
I'm not concerned.
Well, right now the Phillies own the best record in baseball. The Guardians are 51-28, still in first place in the AL Central. We'll see if they can rally from being down 4-1 and get the win tonight against Kansas City and even up this series at 1 apiece. So, and there's more Major League Baseball games, as you know. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. I want to thank my really good friend, one of my best friends, Matt Blumberg, for joining me on my speakerphone from Portland, Oregon. I'll be back, and I'll be back with another podcast this weekend or sometime next week. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.